Okay, so hey there guys. So today's video is going to be a review and comparison video, swatch comparison kind of thing of the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills versus the Colored Raine Queen of Hearts palette by Colored Raine. Now, this video was requested on one of my other videos. I can't remember the subscriber's name right now, but I will put it in the description box below. But thank you so much for requesting this video. I get so happy when people comment on my videos and ask me to film something for you guys. I think that that's awesome, and I feel like it's just a little bit of a validation that people actually watch my content. And it was commented on the Juvia's Place versus Colored Raine palette, and I got a request to compare these two. So I am comparing this palette again to another palette. But thank you so much for commenting and requesting that video. This video, I mean, and thank you so much to how many people who have actually watched that Juvia's Place versus Colored Raine video. It's gotten almost like 850 views. It's insane. Like, thank you so much. I cannot believe how many people have watched that video. I guess people really wanted to see those two brands against each other. So we're going to compare these two guys. And actually, the person who commented to ask me to do this video, they told me that no one has ever really done this video before comparing these two palettes, and I was like, really? So yeah, we're going to start with price, we're going to start with colors, swatches, all of that good stuff. So we're going to start with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. This is what the packaging actually looks like. And then on the back it comes with all of the info about the palette and how many shades are in here. I'm not really going to like get into too much review, but I'm just going to show you like the packaging and the colors. So this is what the actual inside packaging looks like. As you guys know, the newer Anastasia palettes are being packaged in this type of packaging, hence the Subculture palette, and the Prism palette has like a leather kind of embroidery on it, but the Subculture and the Modern Renaissance both have this like velvet packaging. Also, I've noticed, if you guys aren't lazy enough to do this, because I know most people are like lazy with their palettes, but I always keep most of my palettes in the actual packaging that they come in. That way they don't get like fingerprints and like eyeshadow all over them. I know people say that this palette is really prone to getting dirty, but I just keep it in the actual packaging, and then that way it doesn't really get dirty. So okay, so this is what the palette actually looks like. It comes with 14 different shades inside. It comes with a total of 12 matte shades. It's 4, 6, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 matte shades, and then 3 shimmery type of shades. The only two that are truly like shimmery metallic are these two shades right here. And then the shade is more of like a shimmery type of shade. Like it has little glitter particles in it. And then it comes with a mirror as well. And then I'm just going to compare the Colored Raine palette and open them up and show you the color comparison. So this is the Colored Raine Queen of Hearts palette, and I will tell you the price of each of them after I open up the palettes. So this is what the packaging looks like. You guys know that Colored Raine is an online makeup brand. Anastasia Beverly Hills is a well-known makeup brand. It's sold in Sephora, Ulta, etc. You guys know who Anastasia Beverly Hills is. If you don't know who Anastasia is, you pretty much have been living under a rock when it comes to makeup, if you don't know who she is. So this is the Colored Raine Queen of Hearts palette. I love the outer packaging. And then the actual palette is an all black kind of material. I really like the packaging on this. And what's funny is that this one's like dirtier than the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. So this is what it looks like. It doesn't really have a picture or anything on the back. It just shows you, wow, I don't know how I just did that. It just shows you like the ingredients and like says Colored Raine on the back. And then this is what the palette actually looks like. So it comes with a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matte shades and 6 shimmer shades. So you get a lot of more shimmer options in this palette as compared to the Modern Renaissance. And you get an even differentiation of finish in the palette. So you get 6 shimmers and 6 mattes, which is pretty nice to split hairs evenly that way. So the prices of the palette I'm going to tell you in just on my notes, and then we'll go through the shades and everything. So I'm just going to pull up the Anastasia palette on the Ulta website. I go to Ulta for everything. Sometimes it's just easier to just pull it up there. Ooh, new holiday palettes from NARS, and wow, I haven't been on it in a while. I have no money right now, so I shouldn't even be really looking at anything. Okay, so Anastasia Modern Renaissance. Anastasia Beverly Hills. Okay. Modern Renaissance palette retails for $42. And it says, Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance eyeshadow palette is an essential eyeshadow collection with 14 shades, including neutral and berry tones. Includes a double-ended shadow brush, crease and fade-resistant formula, stays put for hours. Mirrored compact slides easily into your bag for on-the-go application. So that's the description for the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. Now let's look up the Colored Raine palette. Colored Raine. And this palette is now this is a permanent palette for Anastasia Beverly Hills. The Queen of Hearts palette is now, I believe, a permanent addition to Colored Raine because people were really upset that they couldn't get this palette permanently because it was such a huge hit. Like, I think this was their biggest palette ever for Colored Raine because everybody and their mom was talking about this palette. So the Colored Raine Queen of Hearts palette retails for $50, and it includes 12 shades in here, but it does have more product in this because the pan sizes are a lot bigger, so I really have no problem with the price. And it says, Queen of Hearts, a 12-pan eyeshadow palette consisting of 6 matte and 6 foiled shades that create various looks from day to night. For maximum pigmentation, metallic shades can be used wet or dry with a brush or by using your fingertips to place product on lids. To use wet, spray your desired choice of setting spray on your brush and tap your brush onto the metallic shade. And then it just lists the shades and everything. So we're going to go through all of the shades and everything like that. I am not really comparing the formulas because I love both of these palettes so much. These are probably my 2 most used palettes the past couple of months. And obviously the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. You guys know this is like my Desert Island palette. I did put this in my perfect palette tag. And I did say this was my favorite palette of all time. And this is pretty much up there as well. I love both of these palettes so much. They're both amazing. So not really going to be comparing the quality. The quality is bomb on both of them. I love both of them. So I'm just going to dump the brush out of there. So when you hold the 2 palettes up side by side, this is what they look like. So as you can see, there are some similar tones in there. They both have a matte orange, a dark matte brown, a like kind of brown crease shade. The one in here is a little bit more warmer toned than the one in here. And then the like shimmery shades aren't really that similar, but they both have a gold, and they both kind of have like a light brow bone type of shade, and they kind of have both like a blushy tone pink shade, but the color stories are similar, but the colors aren't really like exactly the same. They are definitely very different palettes. The pigmentation in both of them are both amazing. The mattes in the Anastasia palette are fucking amazing, and so are the ones in the Colored Raine palette. And the shimmer shades in here are beautiful, but I just wish this had more shimmer options like this one. But I will tell you guys the cons about both palette after I swatch compared the 2. So let's just go through the shades in each palette. So the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette has the shades Tempera, Golden Ochre, Vermeer, Buon Fresco, Antique Bronze, Love Letter, Cypress Umber, Raw Sienna, Burnt Orange, Primavera, Red Ochre, Venetian Red, Warm Taupe, and Real Gar. I am wearing both of the palettes on my eyes today. All the mattes that I'm wearing are from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. So I'm wearing Burnt Orange in the crease, then I darken up the crease more with Red Ochre, and then I use Venetian Red on the outer corners. And then for the lid shade, I used the shade Noblewoman from the Colored Raine palette. And then I used Tempera on my brow bone, and then for my lower lash line, I went in with Real Gar, which is this orange shade, and then for my inner corners, I used Your Majesty, and Crown from the Colored Rain palette. So let's go through the shades in the Colored Rain palette. So we have Crown, Royal Highness, Your Majesty, Princess, Empress, Queen Mother, Heir, Royal Prerogative, Noblewoman, Ladyship, Duchess, and Dethrone. So as compared with pigmentation and everything like that, I find that these two palettes, they can tend to muddy up a little bit if you use a lot of colors, so just keep that in mind. But the pigmentation is beautiful. I never have any trouble applying any of these on my lid, especially the Colored Rain shades. But the shades in here, the shimmer shades, are gorgeous. And I'm going to compare the the shades that are similar now. So we're going to start with the like pink shade Buon Fresco from the Anastasia palette. I'm not swatching all of the shades in the palettes because I'm sure you guys have seen these like crazy swatched on the internet, so I don't really have to swatch all of them for you. And then I'm going to compare the Buon Fresco shade to Princess. They are both very different shades when I am swatching them, but I just wanted to swatch the similar shades for you guys. So these are the two shades. The first one is Buon Fresco. It's more of like a cooler tone blushy pink. And then Princess is much more of like a blushy tone kind of pink warm shade. So that's what those two look like. Then the next shades that I think that are similar, let's do Love Letter and Ladyship. I know Love Letter has more pink than Ladyship, but they are kind of similar in color. But Ladyship is more of like a purpley color, but they are kind of similar. Alright, so this one, and Buon Fresco is from the Anastasia palette, and this one's from the Colored Rain, so I'm just going to do Anastasia Colored Rain. This is the Anastasia palette. This one is Love Letter, and then this one is Colored Rain, and this one is the shade Ladyship. So those are the two shades. Love Letter is much more of like a magenta pink, like a deep magenta, and the Colored Rain Ladyship shade is more of like a pinky dark purple shade. Like a darker plum. Okay, then the next shade I wanted to do is Cypress Umber, which is a brown shade, and then I'm going to compare it to the shade Duchess in the Colored Rain palette. Sorry if I'm like kind of boring right now, but I'm like finally home for one night, so I wanted to go home and film. So this one is Cypress Umber from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and because I just got home from work, I was working for like 5 hours, so I'm wearing like my new Lucky top. I love this top so much. And this one is Duchess, and that's from the Colored Rain palette. So as you can see, Cypress Umber is a lot more of a cooler tone brown, and Duchess more of a warmer tone brown. They are both very warm palettes, but the Anastasia shades have more of like a darker undertone to them. Sorry, my boyfriend's texting me now, of course. Then the next shades that are similar, I'm going to do the shade Burnt Orange. They all swatch so beautifully, though, so smoothly. I love it. And I'm going to compare it to Heir and also Royal Prerogative, because that one's like probably the most similar shade to those. Okay, actually those are pretty similar. Wow. I put Heir in between though. So this one is Burnt Orange from the Anastasia palette. This one is Heir from the Queen of Hearts palette. And this one is Royal Prerogative from the Queen of Hearts palette. This one is definitely more of like a deeper light brown shade. And this one's a burnt orange shade, excuse me. And then this one is Heir. I'm telling you guys, the Heir shade, this one right here, is so pigmented. Like when you use it and you want to like blend out something and you want to like fix like your crease a little bit, it will cover like every shade that you actually put in your crease, and you kind of have to go back in and reapply the other shades that you've already used. It's insane how pigmented it is. So I have like actually my eyeshadow looks pretty good. I thought it didn't look that good. And I think the only other ones we're going to compare is the gold shades. So we'll do the shimmer shades. So we'll do the shade Vermeer, not Vermeer, Primavera from the Anastasia palette. Wow, I'm making a big dent in this shade right here. I might hit pan at some point, actually. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's kind of crazy. And then I'm going to compare it with Your Majesty. Oh my god. You need like the tiniest bit of these because they're so pigmented. The shimmers in the color Raine palette are out of this world. They're amazing. So this one is Primavera from the Anastasia palette, and this one is Your Majesty from the Queen of Hearts palette. I've worn both of these shades so much. I'm such a sucker for gold eyeshadow. I love gold eyeshadow. And I'm wearing Crown and Your Majesty on the inner corners today. They're kind of a little bit faded, though. I probably should have reapplied them, but I'm going to take my makeup off after this anyway. So this one is more of like a light gold shade, and the Crown and the Your Majesty shade is more of like a straight up yellow gold shade. I love it so much. It is so gorgeous on the lid on the inner corners. I love that shade. And now let's just compare Vermeer, which is more of like a lighter pink shade. I feel like I'm going to be done with this video so quickly, like, because you guys both know I love these palettes already. And then the shade Crown from the Queen of Hearts palette. They're definitely very, very different. Excuse me. So this one is Vermeer from the Anastasia palette, and this one is Crown from the Queen of Hearts palette. So that's what they look like. Vermeer is more of like a light shimmery pink, and Crown is more of like literally a straight up white kind of metallic shade, and I love it. So that's it for the shades. Oh, wait. I'm completely disregarding the two oranges in the palettes, which are like the most similar shades. Wow. Okay, let's swatch them right underneath the other mattes. Give it a little bit more of a swatcheroony. And then the shade Empress from the Queen of Hearts palette. They are definitely very different though. Empress is much more like a warmer orange, and Real Gar is more of like a deeper tone type of orange shade. So this one is Real Gar from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and this one is Empress from the Queen of Hearts palette. The Emperor shade is so gorgeous. I mean, I could have worn these in my crease as well today. I could have worn Empress, but I just really wanted to use the red shades from the Anastasia palette. I love using those for fall. The Real Gar shade is more of like a darker orange shade, and this shade Empress is more of like a straight up orange shade. It's so gorgeous. So that's it for the comparison swatches. Now let's compare the formula. I think that would be beneficial. I don't know why I said I'm not going to compare the formula. I mean, I did say that I love both of the formulas so much in these palettes. I also really love the packaging. I think the packaging is really sleek and simple. Like, both of these palettes are just out of this world quality. I don't know if I really could recommend one over the other. I think that they're both kind of essentials for someone. But I would say if you want something that creates a lot more looks and versatility, I would go with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. If you want something for like going out, for something that you really can create some beautiful, intense, gorgeous looks with them, I would go with the Color Raine palette. But I do think that both of these palettes are different enough for you to own both of them. You don't need both of them if you really would just want to go for one. I would just go with the one that looks more appealing to you, but I would recommend 100% both of these palettes. I love both of them so much. They have incredible lastability with the pigmentation. It doesn't really fade off of your crease or your lid. It's gorgeous like all day. I think that the pigmentation on both of these are bomb. The Colored Raine palette, the metallic shades, are some of the most gorgeous metallic shades I've ever swatched or ever worn. They're just so beautiful. I've mostly worn the gold, the red, and the purple. I don't really go for the other two that much. I don't really go for Dethrone or Royal Highness. I wear Crown and Your Majesty on my inner corners all the time. And then the shade I'm wearing on my lid is Noble Woman. So that's the metallic shade. And look how pretty that is. Isn't it gorgeous? I did just reapply it though because I wanted to fix up my crease a little bit. These can transfer, and so can these. The lid shades are not completely transfer proof, so just be mindful of that. It's not too crazy. And these both do have fallout as well because they're both such pigmented palettes. I would suggest for both of these to do your eye makeup first before you go in with your foundation. It's not like a crazy amount of fallout. It's not really that much fallout with the matte shades. You really don't get that much fallout at all. With the lid shades on the Queen of Hearts palette, I would suggest doing your eye makeup first because they are very pigmented and they are very prone to getting marks in them and stuff if you like dig your nails in too deep, so be careful. They're very softly pressed eyeshadows. This one you can be a little bit rougher with, but I still love the lid shades in this palette as well. So with this palette, the cons for this palette is that I wish that there was a brow bone highlight in this palette, which is not like a huge deal. I just feel like I have to grab for another eyeshadow if I want a brow bone highlight. And I do kind of wish it had a little bit more of an inner corner option. But again, that's not really a big deal. And I just wish it had like one more crease shade in it. But you can create a lot of looks with the crease shades that are in here. Like you can put Princess and Ladyship and Duchess together for a really pretty pinky kind of look. You can put together these three shades with mostly all of the lid shades, which I think that they did a really good job of just putting some basic matte shades in there to go with every single shimmer shade. I don't really have any complaints about the shimmer shades. They're all gorgeous. They're all amazing on the lid. I love them so much. They're so pigmented. Like, look at this. This is Royal Highness. Like, I have to wear this shade soon on my lid. When I wear this palette again, I'm wearing this shade on my lid. So that's this shade right here. Look how gorgeous that is. Like, come on. And then this one's the one I'm wearing on my lid. This one is Noblewoman. I think I've just watched these like 10 gajillion times. I just love the formula. They're so beautiful. And then for the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, the cons for this palette is that I wish that there was more shimmer options in this palette. I feel like these two shades are kind of a little bit limited. I mean, they do go with every single look in this palette, but I think that's the only downfall of this palette is that I wish there were more lid shades. Compared to like the Naked Heat palette that had just come out from Urban Decay, I think it has the same. It has 12 options in there, I'm pretty sure, or maybe it's 13 for the Naked Heat palette, and that is the most matte shades that have ever been in a Naked palette. The first Naked palette and like up to the third one didn't really have that many matte shades in there, but the Naked Heat palette has like 7 matte shades and like 3 or 4 shimmer shades, which I think is a really good kind of balance. So I wish that there was a little bit more of a balance with the lid shades in here. But the matte shades are absolutely amazing. Like, I can create so many looks with these matte shades. I feel like I never really use the same colors twice in a look. I mean, I usually put burnt orange, red ochre, and Venetian red together. They're all gorgeous. I feel like this like feed from Colored Raine is kind of distracting me. Okay. And if I wanted to put another lid shade in here, I probably would go with like a more of a frosty pink kind of shade. Or maybe like an orange shimmery shade, like a dual chrome. That would have been like freaking gorgeous. But the 2 lid shades that they give you in here are very versatile, but again, I just feel like it's kind of limited with the shimmer shades in here. Like, I feel like sometimes I use like a lot of my Colored Raine single shadows with this and then just put like these 2 on the inner corners because I feel like since you have so many matte options, you can pair a lot of them with a lot of single shadows, so just keep that in mind as well. Sometimes I just pair them with like the single shadows from Anastasia Beverly Hills that I own. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I don't really have anything else to really say about these 2 palettes. I just want you guys to really just go for the one that you would really think that you get the most use out of is what it really comes down to, because again, the formula of both of these are absolutely amazing. This was made more for all skin tones. This one is more geared towards like light to medium skin tones. I've seen the Fancy Face talk about the Modern Renaissance palette, and she says she doesn't really like it because she feels like it muddies up a lot on her and the colors don't really show up as well because she has a darker skin tone than I am. And obviously Colored Raine is made more for women of color, but I also feel like fairer tone girls can wear this palette as well without any problems. So just keep that in mind if you have a darker skin tone. These two palettes were in Stephanie Nicole's most recent video. I know I mention her in like every single video, but I love her. And she almost put this palette in her top. Well, no, not this one. This one. She almost put the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette in over the Colored Raine, and she was like so torn between the two because they're both so similar to each other. But then she put in the Colored Raine instead just because this one is slightly more pigmented, and that was about it. But Jen Loves Reviews had both of these in her video, and it wasn't until then in the video when they said like, oh yeah, both of the palettes are pretty similar to each other, that I just realized that these palettes are very similar in color to each other, and I never really made that comparison before this. And then that girl commented on my video, I'm sorry if I don't remember your name, I feel horrible, I'm like that girl, my subscriber, I think she subscribes to my channel, she said, oh, I really would love for you to compare the two palettes together. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. But both of these palettes come very, 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 very highly recommended from me. I thought there was a magnet on this. I was like, wait. But yeah, that's really it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't think I really needed to cover anything else. But I really do love the colors in the Colored Raine palette. I think that they're all amazingly gorgeous. And you really are getting an amazing palette. Oh yeah, they do like to run a lot of sales for Colored Raine. I think I got this when it first released. I was getting my hands on it as soon as it released because everybody was talking about this palette, and I really have no regrets about it. I think it's absolutely amazing. So just always look out for sales for Colored Raine. They might have just had a Veterans Day sale. They like throwing out 20% off a lot. So yeah, that's that. This is really like the only other thing I own from Colored Raine besides their liquid lipsticks. I prefer their eyeshadow formula over their liquid lipstick formula. I think their eyeshadow formula is fucking amazing. And then for Anastasia, she doesn't really run as many sales. I mean, she is included in the Sephora VIB sale right now. If you want to pick up any of her palettes right now, I suggest get it at Sephora because it's 20% off. And sometimes Ulta just does do their 20% off coupon for prestige brands, and you can pick it up then at Ulta, or sometimes Anastasia Beverly Hills does send out a coupon code for a sale that's good. Excuse me, on like her website, but it's really on like select items. She doesn't really do like a site-wide sale. I was going to say worldwide sale, a site-wide sale on her website. And she really only does it on like select items, but also look for Black Friday deals as well because Black Friday is coming up. But really, like, this palette is never really on promo. I never really see it on promo anywhere. And also, with the Colored Raine palette, it doesn't come with a brush. This one does come with a brush. It comes with a dual-end brush. I love how I always compare, like, everything, like, at the end of the video. I'm like, oh, maybe I should say this. But, yeah, it comes with a dual-ended brush. I never use it. This is more, like, for your crease, and this is more, like, for your lower lash line and stuff and your inner corners. But I never really use this brush because I don't really love it so much. But yeah, I love the shades in this palette as well. They're all gorgeous. I love the mattes in here. I can create so many looks with them. I love these two shades in my crease. I love these two in the crease as well. Love Letters Gorgeous all over the lid are in the crease. And the only shade I probably would have taken out of here if I wanted to replace it with like another shimmer shade would be like this warm taupe shade, because this is the one I don't really grab for. I really do reach for a lot of the other ones, especially like this part of the palette here I really do live in, and I love this shade on my outer corner. Cypress Umber is like one of the most gorgeous brown outer corner shades. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, so please like and subscribe Follow me on Instagram at CBW819, and my Twitter is PokerCrazy819, and my Snapchat is PokerCrazy819. And I'm going to go because I'm pretty hungry, and I really just want to take my makeup off and relax because this is the first night that I'm home since, like, Wednesday. My boyfriend's sick with the flu. I saw him last night, and I seem to be fine, so, but I didn't really get a lot of sleep last night. I'm waiting for my mom to get home from work so we can both eat together. But I am wearing one of my lucky shirts today. I love this shirt. This is the first time I'm wearing it, because I did work today. It was pretty cold out, though, but I still wanted to wear this because I haven't worn it yet. And then I paired it with my red new Lucky jeans. You guys will be seeing a Lucky brand clothing collection very soon on my channel. I just have to film part 2, which I haven't done yet because I wanted to film this video first. So that's it, you guys. Bye!